It's a beautiful nose. It's a really beautiful nose on this whiskey. So some of you may have recently seen that I did a review on my very first blended malt whiskey from the Lark Distillery here in Australia. In that video I mentioned it wasn't a good representation of the Lark House style. So today what I want to do on the tasting and review is do the Lark Classic Cask, which is very much their go-to house style. So I wanted to take the time to show you guys this one as well to see if this is a better representation and where you should place your interest in Lark. As per the other Lark video that I did, this is a sample bottle in that 100ml size, as you can see, and it is natural color, non-chill filtered, which is fantastic. And this one is a little bump higher, being 43% ABV, right? We are going to, that's better, right? This one actually has a real cork rather than the synthetic cork. Much nicer sound, right? All right, let's pour some whiskey. Okay, what a lovely color. Now, Lark, like many Australian distilleries, don't have an age statement. Now, they do have expressions that do possess an age statement, but the no age statement Larks are exorbitantly expensive, let alone the ones that have an age statement. So this one, their Classic Cask, is actually a little bit more expensive than the Symphony No. 1. So for this 100ml size, you're looking at $60. And for their 500ml full size version of the Classic Cask, you're looking at $200. And that does not present value, in my opinion, at all. So we are going to look beyond that, because what we really want to do is see what the whiskey's like, right? Tasting and review. It's still important because whiskey is a value proposition, right? As a consumer, you have to decide where to spend your hard-earned money. For me personally, as a consumer, due to Lark's price and size of their bottles, I actively avoid purchasing them. Their value proposition doesn't align for me as a consumer, so I don't buy it. And the only reason I purchased these is because I wanted to make some videos and try tasting and reviewing Lark at a price that I could stomach. It says on the label itself, approachable and complex, our signature Classic Cask 43% is a single malt made for sharing, celebrating, and enjoying. It features citrus and butterscotch of the Lark House style with a hint of Tasmanian peat. A great balance of sweet, spicy, and savory elements make this the perfect dram for whiskey lovers at all stages of their whiskey drinking journey. So let's dive in. Much nicer nose than the Symphony No. 1. There is character here. Tangerines, like this very robust, very prominent and forward citric note. Lots of malt. You know, with citrus, that, like, especially tangerine, that sort of sweet and bitey, that combination, there's that acidity of the citrus is very much present here. The butterscotch is there. It's very much malt, butterscotch, and tangerine, absolutely. Interesting, very different. It's unlike anything that I've tried before. It's a very much a unique nose. Okay, so let's try the Lark Classic Cask on the palate. Mm. Much better. The Symphony number one pales in comparison to this. This is a quality whiskey. The Symphony number one is not. This, tons of malt, good amount of spice and bite, good finish. It's hanging around. Just a really nice cleanliness to it. There's a beautiful clarity in the liquid itself. A nice warmth moving through my chest. It's lovely. Lark has a reputation for a reason, most certainly, and beyond the my opinion of their price point and the amount of spirit that they give you for your money, this is a lovely whiskey. Don't get me wrong, this is a lovely whiskey. There's no peat at all. If you drink peated whiskey, I almost feel like that's a marketing pitch from Lark to appeal to a broader market. There's no peat on this. If you've had peated whiskey and you know smoke and peat, there's no peat here. This is very much beautiful nose, beautiful nose. There's the tangerine, butterscotch, loads of malt. There's vanilla here. It's a beautiful nose. It's a really beautiful nose on this whiskey. Would I buy this again at the price point that Lark offers their whiskey at? No, I would not. That's not to say that this isn't a great whiskey. I'm a big fan. I think it's lovely. It's a wonderful quality. It's a beautiful, rich, full experience with loads of flavor. Enough going on that it's going to satisfy not only the everyday drinker, but also someone who's looking for a little bit more from their whiskey. I agree that this is very much approachable, but it will satisfy and appeal to the whiskey enthusiast as well as a whiskey novice. It's a big commitment for a lot of people, right? $200 is a lot of money to spend on a bottle of whiskey, right? Like, if we're being real about it, the everyday person doesn't go and spend $200 on a bottle of whiskey and think nothing of it, right? As consumers, we want to be wise with our purchasing choices, and there's a lot of choice in the market, right? Now, it's beautiful. Notes of tea coming through now as well. The black tea is there. The oak is developing and unfolding. It's a great whiskey, but I wouldn't go seeking it purely because I'm not paying $200 for 500 mils of whiskey. And I know that I'm repeating myself, and I may be seeming like I'm ranting or venting, but that's the reality of the situation. For $200, I can get 21-year-old Scotch that far exceeds the quality and the caliber of what I'm drinking here. So it's important to factor that in, you know. It is a consideration when buying and making our purchasing choices as whiskey drinkers. Okay, let's try now on the finish and see if anything further is developed in my glass. Now, there's a lovely mouthfeel. There's a sweetness here. The citrus and that butterscotch is absolutely there. The malt. It's a great example of a single malt whiskey that isn't drowned out by the malt, right? The malt is there, but it's got other components that give you this beautiful balanced experience on your palate. It's really nice. The texture's good. I don't have anything bad to say about the Lark Classic Cask. It is a lovely whiskey. Do not get me wrong. It is a beautiful whiskey. I absolutely recommend it from a flavor perspective of the whiskey, the mouthfeel, the texture, the cleanliness of it. It's got a lovely balance. Everything sits beautifully, and that tangerine note is unique to me. It's different, and it's appealing. I do not recommend it based upon what you have to pay to get it. As lovely as it is, it's not worth the money. Now, if Lark sold 700ml bottles at $200, I think then it's worth considering. Or if they're going to sell 500ml bottles, sell them at $150. It's not a good proposition for a whiskey drinker, I'm sorry to say, but it's unfortunate because I avoided it for so long purely because of the price point, and I've spent far more than $200 on a bottle of whiskey, but it's got to equal value in the eyes of the purchaser, right? Now, as I say, if this had a slightly different price point, it would be a great whiskey to turn to. Based on the whiskey itself is absolutely lovely, not for the price that they sell it for. So I hope this one has been informative to you guys, and you get something from it. If you like this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you like content like this. And until the next one, as always, enjoy your whiskey responsibly. Slanjavar.